All right. Today's video is going to show you how to do a proposal and build out. That's the first step we do when we're trying to earn someone's business. We do a proposal giving them our perceived value of the property. The way to do it, we go ahead and go to our main build out page and we click on new listing. After you click new listing, you're going to choose start a new listing from scratch. You'll be using this one 99.9% of the time. You don't ever want to start with an existing property. So we'll click on that and then we'll enter in the address here, 2930 South National Ave, Springfield, Missouri. It auto corrects. I'm the primary broker here on this one. And then we always add Paul as a secondary. If you're a junior agent, it's also a good idea to add me as well, just because of the relationships I have with other brokers. So it's good to have that. But you can add up to three brokers on here. So it would be the junior broker first, then myself, then Paul on the listing. Click on search. Gives us a suggested address, which is perfect, exactly what we need. And then click on create listing. Once you're in the edit listing page, first thing you choose database is prime net lease. Then this one is going to be a sale proposal. Same thing, 99% of our proposals are going to be for sale purposes. So we're going to click sale. Then you're going to get all of these options. These options basically stay irrelevant for the time being. You leave it on none. Once we go to list it, we want to make sure that these are all highlighted. But for right now, under proposal, it stays as is. Sale listed on and listing expiration. Also, we leave blank at the moment because we haven't gotten the listing. So then we scroll down here, you see brokers. It already has us in here, Michael and Paul. And then we go down to our custom field section. These are the fields that are going to need to be filled out for all net lease proposals. When you've got an owner user proposal, which we're not going to focus on right now, these don't get filled in. So this proposal is going to be strictly for double net, triple net properties, single tenant only. So ownership type, unless it's a leasehold specified in the lease, it's 99% of the time it's fee simple. Alexa, stop. Tenant, in this case, we're doing a come and go, which is my primary tenant. The guarantor, it's a corporate guarantee on this one. Your guarantor possibilities are corporate, franchise, or personal are basically the three that we use. Sometimes there'll be a franchise plus a personal guarantee, so that's where you would list that. Lease type, this is an absolute triple net lease, which is the best type of lease you can have. There's also triple net leases where it's just NNN. There's double net leases where it's NN, and there's double net plus, as well as gross leases and ground leases. There's also absolute triple net ground leases versus regular ground leases. Those we can get into in a separate video, but for just so you know what possibly can go in here. So when it's an absolute triple net lease, landlord responsibilities are none. The term remaining on this lease actually has just over two and a half years. So we're just going to put 2+ years. Term commencement, we're going to need the lease for that. I'm going to keep the lease off the screen for most of this. This property, I don't have the original lease, and I'm doing it based off of my knowledge of come and goes, the fact that I've sold, so many of them. I know what all their leases look like. I just have like the latest renewal is basically what the client provided me with, which shows me our lease end date, and that we're going to have one 3-year option, which is critical in the next step here. So the commencement, let me pull that up real quick. Here we go. So the original lease is actually April 12th, 1993. So 0/12/1993. Our current expiration date is 12/31/2026. This is because of the various renewals. I mean, this lease has been renewed, 5 or 6 times since. There's one 5-year option, 5-year option. It's very important to maintain these formats, 2 numbers for the date, and then there are 2 numbers for the month, for the date, and 4 digits for the year as well. And all of these, one 5-year option. This has 3% annual increases. This section could be something like 10% every 5 years, 8% every 5 years, or 2%, 1% annual um, increases. That's not how you spell annual. Okay, tenant responsibilities, we type in, it's kind of a redundant spot, but it goes into a different place. In the proposal, it's also absolute NNN, um, just like the lease type. And then first right of refusal, 14 days is for specific for come and go. A lot of companies will not have a first right of refusal. The ones that do usually have, 14 days is very common, and so it's 30 days that you have to certainly check in the lease for. So we got all that, and we keep on going here. Address, all of this fills in pretty nicely. Location description, we don't put a market, we skip these. We really focus on mostly the blue required sections. For just location description, this in the proposal, it doesn't go anywhere. So we just type in, TBD, to be determined. Property type, this is retail. Just like most of our properties, they're going to be, retail, 90% of the ones we do. And this is a gas station, which is not an option here. So, what I'll do is I'll override I'll make it a freestanding building, and then I'll override the label and type in gas station / convenience store. Property name, come and go. Zoning, this is pretty nice. It's filled in automatically by their system, which is nice, as well as the APN. You don't really see the APN anywhere, so it's not very relevant. Um, Always want to double check these numbers on your title profile page. So that's one thing that you may want to have open as well, in addition to CoStar, which we'll be going to as well. But so let me grab the information from title to see if that matches up. This is just one of the many title services we use. Here's the address. That's the property. So they got it built in 1974, 2,800 square foot lot. They've got no info as far as how big the building is. Um, we may be able to find it through other means. Springfield MO property search. Search by address, agree. A lot of counties are going to have, or cities or counties are going to have these websites where they give you a bunch of info. Most of them are for free. Some of them aren't. This one seems to be free, but it's not giving us much info. Land information. Yeah, see, we need to be a premium, so we're not gonna subscribe to that. But it does say 2,400 square feet, so that's perfect. And it actually gives us the calculated acres, which is what we want. So 0.64. So we'll go back here. We will change this lot size to 0.64 acres, and then 2,400 for the square footage will remain. Occupancy 100% because there's only one tenant. Tenancy single because it's a single come and go. We ignore these parts. Um, then we're going to go to year built and last renovated. Um, Usually, this will, you'll see the property when the property was built on this title report here, which 1974 it is here. However, it's most likely this property was remodeled at some point in time, and and that's what we need to find out. You may not have that information, so the best way to do it is to go to Google Maps actually. And usually if it's been remodeled, it would have been remodeled within the last few years. So you just go here and click on see more dates, and we can see this has been pretty much the same, come and go for quite a while, even back in August of 2007. Um, so no remodels, but I do know that this was actually a different property before, and this was actually previously a get and go, and then come and go took over in 2004. So that's when a remodel actually occurred. So I'm going to put that in there. The next thing we need is the rent roll. The rent roll is basically where we put in the financial information and the future options. So we got 2,400 square feet. Market rent, we uncheck that. We don't need that. And then we've got the current rent, which we're going to say, what is it here? The current annual rent is 42,000. Now, when they have annual increases, it's pretty daunting to put in this whole rent roll, but we've got to do it because essentially you're doing a 3% increase every year. So here, because it's the current term, we put in current, and this rent, and we put when this rent or this particular lease is going to go through until. So this rent is going to be through the end of this year, 2024, and then there's a rental increase next year. So what I like to do, delete these rows, and then we go ahead and just duplicate these rows however many times we need. So I know I got until 2026, so I'm just going to type in here 25, 26, and then here we're going to do 0101 2025, and then copy that here and then change it to 26. So you don't have to have come and go displayed here every time, but you need to keep the square footage here for now. Now I know this is when my lease runs through, but I need to add the option. So then I'm going to duplicate another one, and then here I'm going to write option 1. And now I know this option is another 3-year option. So I'm going to do 3 rows for the option, and then edit the dates. 8, 9, 8, 7, and then this is a this particular lease has 3% increases every year. So we got to calculate those now. 4,200, 42,000 times 1.03 gives you 43,260. Very important to enter the date, the rental amount here, and then tab over and do the same thing on every one, because if you don't do that, it will mess this up and it will completely make the numbers incorrect for you. So then I'm going to take this number now and times it by 103, which is going to give me the next rental amount, which is 44557.80. Tab over, come down here, times 1.03 equals 45,894.53. 53. Tab over, and then that again, 1.03, I messed it up, times 45894 equals 47,271.37. Tab over, and then one last time, 48,689.51. All right. So we got the whole rent roll entered in there. Now we're going to move on. Sale title, come and go. The sale closing info, we leave that blank. Sale description, we're phasing this out a little bit of our packages, but typically this is a short summary, paragraph. I'd say 2 paragraphs that talks about the site. So let me go ahead and just pull up an example one from our website. Just come and go. There's a come and go on here. Come and go, Cheyenne. So your sale description is something like, we're pleased to offer this property. Talks about when the original lease commenced. Talks about the area briefly, how many, some things about the property that people would want to know in a brief description. As I said, though, we're phasing this out of our proposal. So you have to put something in there. I'm just going to put in TBD for now. The sale bullets, although they're not required, it is the most important part. It's really where we sell the property and all the good things about it. I'm going to grab them from this come and go and make some tweaks. But basically, there's a format we want to use here for the sale bullets. We want to, give a pop phrase. So like long-term lease, obviously this one's not a long-term lease. So we'll remove that. So, a pop phrase and then a brief description of that particular, pop phrase and, where it's located. It's not in the non-income tax state, 800 plus locations applies. Rental increases. So you make these adjustments, and you want to have 5 or 6 of these in there. And really this is where we sell the property. Not as important when presenting to our original client. We definitely spruce these up once we move to a marketing package, but for the time being, you want to put something in there. I'll work on these, later, but just for the purposes of this, I'm going to go ahead and put it in here right now. Property use, it's a net lease investment. Sometimes we do owner user. The other ones we don't usually. Sometimes we sell land, so I guess development would work as well. But net lease investment is the one that we use most of the time. Depending on the area, just kind of choose what the property is. If it's something where it's vacant, going to be distressed is your option. Opportunistic is something that like it says here, ownership may not see their return on investment in 3 or more years. We use that one sometimes, but most of the stuff is going to be if it's like downtown LA or like the best tenant McDonald's, and stuff like that. They're going to be core Walgreens, CVS. If it's someone mid-tier like a Taco Bell or Dollar General. It'll probably be Core Plus. In this case, this has a little bit of value add potential because the real estate because the lease is going to expire soon. So we're going to go to value add. Then you're going to come down here, click includes real estate. Less than 1 year, it's not less than 1 year, it's 2+ years. If it's over 10, you just select 10 plus. Expiration date is 12/31/2026, like we mentioned before, 26. Commission, we don't need to put that in at this point. Come and go. This is the financial section where we're going to type in, our price, and then our price is going to automatically generate our cap rate. So our NOI, we get our NOI from the current rent, so we're going to call it 42,000. Oh, no, I'm getting 42,000. And the price, I'm going to do whatever this is probably like a 7 cap, I would say, maybe 7.5. So let's just say, just because it's a really good location. So 42,000 divided by 0.07 is going to give me 600,000. And then once I put that in, you'll see it makes it a 7 cap. Very, very important, easy to miss. You got to check this display financial fields on plugin. It helps us with the website later, and is just need to get in a good habit of putting that in there. All right, we're going to go ahead and save listing, and we have pretty much done all of our initial data entry. The next step, which I'll do a separate video so this video doesn't get too long, is going to be viewing this main drop page, as well as creating the actual proposal document itself. So please go to video number 2 of triple net lease proposal to see how to do the next step.